Modular synthesis is a tough art to master, and hardware is pretty expensive to boot, which is why I have almost no experience with modular gear. Applied Acoustics Systems recently launched Multiphonics CV-3. And this seemed like the perfect plugin for me to try out the modular process and see if I gel with it. I took the plunge and dived headfirst into CV-3 with very little knowledge and emerged with some sounds that I definitely wouldn't have thought up without it. Here's what I saw when I first opened the plugin, just a blank canvas with a list of modules on the side. The first thing I needed to do was create a simple synthesizer from scratch. I dragged in an audio generator, this object physical modeling oscillator, but still no sound. That's because I needed to add a note on-off trigger. Still no sound. It would help to send the output of the oscillator to the output mixer. And there we have it, audio. We're not out of the woods yet though, because the pitch of the note that I'm playing is still the same no matter which key I hit on the keyboard. Simply enough, I scouted for the pitch output from the keyboard module and hooked it up to the relative input on the oscillator, and now we have a basic, physically modeled synth. I also had fun messing with the object and material controls on the oscillator to get some really cool timbres. Now I had the basics down for my patch, it was time to try some effects. I sent the output from this oscillator into this comb filter module and then sent that into the mixer. I got this really nice modulated sound. It sounded cool when I messed with the frequency control, which gave me an idea. Let's hook an LFO up. Thankfully, this was a fairly painless experience. Grab the LFO module, send the sine wave output to the filter cutoff, and then play with the rate and modulation range. I also wanted to try a touch of reverb, and of course this reverberator module seemed like the one. When I was playing with this, I had a little light bulb moment, and I realized that we can send the output of the reverb to another input on the mixer to create a bus send effectively. By this point, my vision for the sound was becoming increasingly clear, and I wanted to try for one of those beeping, sequenced techno type effects that I so often associate with modular. Problem is, this was going to be a little bit of a head scratcher. First, I tried to send this gate and CV sequencer straight into the trigger input of the oscillator, but no dice, back to no sound straight away. I then realized there's an input on the sequencer for a clock, so that seemed like a logical next step. Okay, still no sound, but the sequencer is now working. So that was rewarding, but still no sound yet. When I thought about it some more, I thought maybe an ADSR could be the answer, so I sent the sequencer's gate output to the gate and trigger inputs on the ADSR, and then sent the CV output of the sequencer to the pitch on the oscillator. And still nothing. What do we need to do here? Okay. Help if the sequencer was turned on. Okay. And we had it. After a bit more time spent pleasantly down the modular rabbit hole, I ended up with a sound that I really liked for a techno track. And there we have it, my first ever modular synth patch built in Multiphonics CV-3. I hope this has empowered you to try modular synths if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.